You can't expect people to move to Greece and suddenly want to have large families in spite of all the huge problems that make having a large family here difficult to begin with. It'll have accomplished nothing except temporarily shuffle people into and out of Greece. You need to first address the actual reasons why couples are restricting their family planning. So all of this initiative and these ideas have done is just funneled more money into these senseless think tanks that do very superficial analyses and do limited intellectual labor on critical issues like demographic decline. So what needs to happen? A very serious and foundational restructuring of the public education system, for starters, from elementary to university. As a diaspora Greek who returned to Greece, it is a serious concern that I can't depend on sending my children to public school because they're underfunded, staffed with uninspired, unmotivated, or jaded educators, or because they're subject to protests and school shutdowns on a whim. As a working parent, I want to be able to depend on sending my child to school in the morning and know that my child will come back safe and having learned the material. I also need to point out that because the public education system is such a failure, parents are forced to pay exorbitant costs to private tutoring to ensure their children learn the material and are able to pass the Panhellenic exams in the end of the senior year. So kids go to school, often return reporting they've learned nothing. Then they go to after-school tutoring to actually learn the material. And this is so ridiculous, and it's a large reason why couples avoid having large families, because planning for their child's education is incredibly difficult and very costly. And so parents with the means will take their kids out of the public school system, enroll them into a private school. But this is untenable, and of course it's untenable on a large scale. Not everybody can afford a private school for their children, for kindergarten through high school. Other factors restricting openness to having a large family is the healthcare issue. If someone in my family gets sick, I'm forced to take them to a private hospital just to ensure that they're going to get proper and safe care, especially in a timely manner. Additionally, let's say I work remotely and I can live in a village. Oftentimes the nearest hospital is hours away. Or if I live on an island, it's an emergency helicopter ride away to Athens, to the nearest major hospital. Now I either live in the comfort of a village and can physically have the large family and the space for it, but I live far away from reliable medical care. Or I'm forced to move to Athens to be in proximity to a hospital, but now I'm physically restricted from having a large family because I can only afford a 2-bedroom in Athens, and so that restricts how many children I'm going to want to have. See how that works? So if the educational and medical systems aren't fixed first, no 2,000 euro push presents from the government are going to convince me to have multiple children. 2,000 is just for the birth. Who's going to help me with the more significant and costly parts of child rearing that actually impact my child's future? The 2,000 was a drop in the bucket.